The Colts are heading into the fourth quarter of the season. Let's see if we can finish the season strong.
Indiana, we some Indiana moves. We some Indiana, we some Indiana moves. I'm an Indiana move. We don't take 1, 2, 3. We make the f***ing rules in town. No more talk. Just win. Let's go.
Touchdown! I-N-D-Y! Anthony Richardson.
All right, so this has kind of been a long season. Like, wow. We're already through the third quarter. This was probably the worst quarter of the season. The first quarter we went 2-2. Second quarter we went 2-2. This quarter we went 1-3 against the Vikings, Bills, Jets, and Lions. It was pretty clear what happened that caused the team to get worse, and that was by benching Anthony Richardson and putting in a quarterback that we were told gave us the best chance to win. And when that quarterback was placed in the game, he promptly lost 2 games in a row, and the offense looked as worse as it has looked all season. Like, you look at the games Joe Flacco started against with the Vikings and Bills, our offensive output was the lowest of the year. And then, like sweet manna from heaven, they put Anthony Richardson back into the starting lineup, and voila, the offense looks better. We're more explosive. We're putting up points. We're sustaining drives a little bit. Now, I think this will be a very vital part of not only this season, but seasons to come and the tenure of Anthony Richardson and Shane Steichen. I believe those two are tied together at the hip. If one of them goes, they both go. I don't think we're going to see Shane Steichen as the coach of the Colts with another quarterback that he picks. I just don't know if coaches get that opportunity again. I don't know if they get an opportunity to get a second go round with a first round quarterback. So if Anthony Richardson doesn't succeed here, that means Shane Steichen didn't succeed here. So I don't think, I think those two are going to be interconnected. And this part of the season, we will look back if AR and Shane are, Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning, or if they're, I don't know, Phillip Rivers and Frank Reich, good or bad. I think this part of the season is what we're going to look back at and say this was a turning point. I think that if it turns out to be positive, we can look at, okay, those 2 weeks that AR sat, he actually got better. Because he came back against the Jets, had a career high in passing yards, career high in completion percentage, really didn't miss really any throws, and looked like a regular quarterback. He didn't have one of those crazy stat lines, but he just looked like a consistent throwing, moving the ball, hitting targets, ball out on time kind of quarterback. And he looked like that against the Lions also. Like, even though we lost that game and we only put up 6 points, Anthony Richardson still looked fine. The stats might not show it, but if you watch the game, Anthony Richardson looked like a legit NFL quarterback. And it looks like for those 2 games that Anthony Richardson was benched, that might have cost this team the playoffs at the end of the year, going 0-2 with Joe Flacco and looking terrible. But if that cost us the playoffs this year, but that makes Anthony Richardson become the quarterback that we hoped that he would be, and he develops into what we think he can be, which is like a Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson kind of hybrid, then in my opinion, it'll be worth it. Like going, I don't know, 8-9, 9-8, missing the playoffs. But next year, Anthony Richardson is more what we saw against the Jets as opposed to what we saw against Green Bay. If he's that quarterback for the rest of his career, then I'm fine with missing the playoffs this year. Obviously, I picked us to win the division, and that's still a possibility. But I think this part of the season will be like the moment, good or bad. This quarter of the season will be the moment. There are some things that I have liked. Obviously, speaking from AR's perspective, he got better somehow from not playing and came back into the game, into the starting lineup, looking like a totally different quarterback. And also Shane Steichen kind of got better. Him and Jim Bob Cooter seemed to have kind of figured out how to use him to his best abilities. And one of his best abilities is running the ball. And they really kind of leaned into that a little bit more, especially against Detroit. Ran the ball a lot. He had like 10 carries, which is like a career high. And I think he had his career high rushing yards, like 60 something yards. And that's something they're just going to have to do more. Like, it's the NFL. You can't put these guys in bubble wrap. He's a big guy. He's fast. I don't think he has like great vision. Like, he's not like a Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen kind of a runner. He's still raw. And like, we talk about his raw ability and him not getting as much playing time and recognizing things as a passer. I think that also applies to him as a runner, because if you go back and look at some of those runs against the Jets and against the Lions, you can kind of see like, oh, if you'd set up a block here, or cut out or cut in, like he probably left a few yards on the field. He's more of a straight ahead runner. But I do like that Shane and Jim Bob are calling a little bit more running plays. He doubled his touchdown input on the ground in one game against the Lions, so that's definitely a plus. The main thing that I've kind of been talking about like consistently is that Gus Bradley is going to get fired at the end of the season. And I was kind of thinking about it today, and you let me know what you guys think in the comments. If they're going to fire Gus Bradley and bring in another coach that runs the same scheme, then you might as well just keep Gus Bradley. Like, maybe, I don't think his voice has gone stale because the defense has gotten better week over week. And we saw how it took, like, we thought Kenny Moore was cooked a few years ago, but then once he learned the system, he got back to being Kenny Moore. Latu has gotten better. Grover Stewart has gotten better. Nick Cross has gotten better. The linebackers, and we'll talk about that later, but like Jalen Jones has gotten better. Sam Womack has gotten better throughout the year. And I would not want to lose that progress as a defense, firing Gus Bradley just to bring in another guy who runs the same system. If you're going to fire Gus Bradley, I would prefer they bring someone that's going to change it up, a drastic change in scheme and style. Bring in someone who's going to blitz a lot more, play more man coverage, do something. Maybe I'm not looking at it the right way. Maybe it is a thing where his voice has gone stale, but it's not like he's been here for 10 years. He's been here under 5 years. So if Gus Bradley gets fired, then I think he'll get hired immediately. If he does get fired, I would prefer them bring in a younger coach who's going to have a totally different philosophy than Gus Bradley. My hope going into the fourth quarter of the season is finally getting a bye week and hopefully getting some guys healthy, because Jonathan Taylor has probably suffered the most with all the injuries on the offensive line. So hopefully those guys can get healthy. And if Anthony Richardson can continue to play and develop and improve week over week the way he has been, and we get a healthier offensive line, which makes the running game a little bit better, and AD continues to develop and progress, then I do like our chances of at least getting to like 9-8, and then kind of, hoping for the best in the playoffs. Like that's my thinking behind it. I think we just gotta make it to that bye week. We gotta make it to the bye week and then go from there. Hopefully get everybody back and hopefully try to run the table. We have a fairly, easy schedule by NFL standards. So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And hopefully we can keep this thing going. If you're looking for like breakdowns of each of the games, it'll be at the end of this video. I have a playlist. I've done every game. I've broken down each quarter of the season. And for the bye week, it'll be more of a, kind of predictions it'll be probably like a little bit more off season or free agency kind of stuff. I'm still trying to figure that out. But let me know what you guys think in the comment. And hopefully we beat the Patriots. Go Colts.
Thanks for watching, babe. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.